Hello and welcome back to Communication Systems. So today we will be looking at the primary communication resources. So for each and everything we need some resources, some sort of resources. For example, for manufacturing we need the raw materials, the machines. In the same way, for communication, for establishing the communication system, there are some resources defined in the communication system. What are those? Those are the power and the bandwidth. What are those? For the communication, the resources that we have, the primary resources, which is very important. Without these two we cannot establish a communication, a proper communication. So what are these? These are the power and the channel bandwidth. What are these? The power. The power is defined as the average power of the transmitted signal. Whatever the signal we are transmitting, the transmitted power, we consider the average power of the transmitted signal as the one of the communication resources, the power. And the second thing is the channel bandwidth. It is defined as the band of the frequencies allocated for transmission of the message signal. So for sending or transmitting some data, we need a bandwidth, a carrier in which, a frequency range in which we will put our message and we will send it to the other person, with which should have at least some power so that it can reach the other party. So what are those? The primary communication resources, as we are seeing here, are the transmitted power. What is this? This is the average power of the transmitted signal, and the channel bandwidth. It is defined as the band of frequencies allocated for the transmission of the message signal. System could be defined based on the above two, depending on the requirement and efficiency. So what are our needs? What are the purposes that we need to serve? Depending on that, we can select the power and the bandwidth. For example, as written on the board, the band limited is the mobile communication. This is the channel division. Band limited, or it can be understood as the channel division. What is this? We have a set of frequencies allocated to us for using or sending or transmitting our message signal to the other party. So from those set of frequencies, we are selecting a certain frequency range. That is what it is, band limited. We can understand it like this also. For example, we have got this sort of channel bandwidth. Okay, so this is a complete this is for an example. I'm just explaining what is this band limited. Okay, so let us consider that this range is the channel bandwidth. So we have divided this channel bandwidth into two parts, especially in mobile communication. One is for sending and the other frequency range is for receiving. So let us divide it. So now this portion could be used for sending our data, and this range could be used for receiving the data from the other source. So this is transmission, this is reception. Okay, so what is this band limited? We have limited the band. It will never happen that if we have defined it that transmission will take place through this area, this portion A, and this is portion B. Let us consider it as portion A and portion B. If we have defined that portion A will transmit and portion B will receive, then it will never happen that transmission takes place from B and reception takes place from A. Why? Because we have already fed it into the system. Okay, and there are some other factors also. Later we will be knowing that. We will be looking after that later on. Okay, for now this is the band limited. We have limited our available bands. We have limited our available resource of this frequency bandwidth or the channel bandwidth. Okay, so the band limited, depending on our requirement and efficiency of the system, what we are doing, we are dividing, or we are looking forward at the resources, that how well we can use our resources. So I think band limited is clear to you. Okay, as we have seen in our the basic diagram of the communication system, that some amount of noise is added in our message signal. So there must be some amount of power in our message signal so that it can be retrieved at the destination end or the receiver end. Okay, so this is the power limited. Now let us take an example of this communication system. In the mobile communication, we use a small amount of power. Why? Because the electromagnetic waves, if we implement a huge power in the mobile communication, then it may harm ourselves. Okay, so some limited amount of power is used in mobile communication, but in case of satellite communication, the most suited example of power limited is the satellite communication. This is the power division. What we are doing, we have limited a frequency band. There is no other option. We have to transmit the signal in that frequency band only. We do not have any other range of frequencies. So in this power limited satellite communication, while transmitting the signal, we require a very high power. Why? Because our satellites is very far away from us, isn't it? Yes. So for uploading our data to the satellite, we need a large amount of power, while receiving the signal from the satellite requires a very less amount of power. So what is the best example of this satellite communication? D2H, direct to home service. You must have seen D2H, Doordarshan D2H, Videocon D2H, Tata Sky, and all these. Okay, so here the factor that we consider for the efficiency and as per our requirement is the power, and on the other hand, for the daily communication that we are establishing with each other, that is the mobile communication, we consider as the band, the frequencies that we use. We select the different types of frequencies for our purpose, making it efficient and as per our requirements. So let us grasp once again all these things. The primary communication resources. What are the primary communication resources? These are the transmitted power and the channel bandwidth. So I think primary communication resources are clear to you. So here we are seeing that the spectrum of message signal extends down to 0 or low frequencies. If this happens, that the spectrum for the message signal is 0, it extends to 0, or that is the spectrum, the frequencies becomes very low, negligible. Bandwidth is defined as the upper frequency above which spectral content is negligible and unnecessary for transmitting information. Okay, if something like this happens, what is this? This is if the message signal has very low frequencies, then the bandwidth is defined as the upper frequencies above which spectral content is negligible or cannot be, or which is unnecessary for transmitting the information. For example, the average voice spectrum is up to 10 kHz. Okay, just see the range, 10 kHz. Most of the average power is concentrated in 100 to 600 Hz only. This is 10 kHz, 10,000 Hz, and the average power is 100 to 600 Hz, not even 1000 Hz. and the band range of the message signal of the voice signal is 300 Hz to 3100 Hz. It is the best range for the voice, isn't it? Yes. So what we are saying, that the voice spectrum that we have considered of a 10 kilohertz, we do not require that much. What we require, 100 to 600 Hz, and the band range is 300 to 3100 Hz. Okay, so the above this, so finally for the voice we consider a 4 kilohertz range. Okay, now for the communication system, we have already seen that there is some sort of noise coming in the system, and we cannot neglect that. We have to consider that also as one of the resources. Okay, we have to deal with it. That is why I am discussing here that we have to consider the unavoidable presence of the noise in our system. So what is this noise? Noise is the unwanted waves tends to disturb the transmission and processing of the message signal in the communication system. Noise is the unwanted waves that tend to disturb the transmission and processing of our message signal in a communication system. Clear? I hope it is clear. Okay, it could be internal or external. What is this internal? The noise emerging within the system, in the channel, in any way, be it there may be some temperature changes or anything like that. So those noise which are produced due to the internal factors are referred as to as the internal noise, and the external noise that we add upon. We are getting the noise from the outer source. For example, right now I am recording my video and I am getting a lot of noise from my surroundings. Okay, so these are the external noise.